Hello, my name is Barry. Welcome to Christianity Explained. Does these type of arguments sound familiar? Because you're a Calvinist, you must be a heretic. I refuse to listen to anything you say. Or perhaps it's on the other side. You charismatic or wacky. You have no respect for the sovereignty of God. Okay, the last one for those who might have a little trouble with the way I do my hyperbole. I said, you wacky charismatic have no respect for the sovereignty of God. Really? And ongoing spear throwing at all sides. The type that makes a lot of Christians want to run. Frankly, I don't blame them. Oh, if only there was a set of scriptures that might help us to know how to handle conflict. But Barry, they didn't have this kind of stuff back then. But actually, there is a set of scripts, a Bible story worth reading and learning. And while it didn't talk about Calvinism and charismatic going overboard or whatever, uh, they had a much more serious problem on their hand. And that's why we are going to visit Joshua chapter 22 and learn some wonderful lessons that are buried in there. You probably may have read it and just went walking by because you don't see. Well, I'm going to help you and learn some things. All right, chapter 22 is in the book of Joshua. It's 34 verses. I'm not going to read straight through. I'm going to break it down where I can and summarize where I can. Otherwise, we'll be here for quite a while. Now, I'm going to start with 22 because Joshua had led the children of Israel into the land of Canaan at the command of what God said through his servant Moses. And the 2.5 tribes already have their inheritance over on the other side of the Jordan River. And they agreed to go with the remaining Israelites to take for possession the land of Canaan where they can. And that's what was going on. And now we're getting to the close of the book of Joshua. And we're going to look at this one particular chapter, and that's where, starting in verse 1, at that time, Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh and said to them, you have kept all that Moses, the servant of the Lord, commanded you, and have obeyed that's what the leader here, my voice in all that I have commanded you. You have not, this is important, verse 3, you have not forsaken your brothers these many days down to this day, but have been careful to keep the charges of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brother as he promised them. And therefore turn and go to your tent in the land where your possession lies, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you on the other side of the Jordan River. Now, I'm putting in the word river for a very important reason. That river is a large body of water. It's not a simple stream. It is the natural boundary between Gilead, where with the Reubenite, Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh in that area on the other side of the Jordan River. Right now, they're on the western side. And the other reason for mentioning it because back then there wasn't a country called Jordan. No, we know that's why I made that mention. Only be very careful to observe uh, the commandment and the law that Moses, the servant of the Lord, has commanded you to love the Lord your God and to walk in all he and to walk in and to cling to him and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. Sound familiar? Jesus said something along the same line. We are to love our God, to love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, your whole being. And that. And the second is just like it, to love your neighbor as yourself. So Joshua blessed them and sent them away, and they went to their lands. Now, if you're wondering, folk, I kind of have to pause a little bit because what's happening is I'm seeing this, and I gotta keep track of where things are, so I can make sure I don't. Yeah. Now, now to the one half of now to the one half tribe of Manasseh, Moses had given a possession in Bashan, but to the other half, Joshua had given a possession beside their brothers in the land west of the Jordan. And when Joshua sent them away, sent them away to their home and blessed them. He said to them, "Go back to your tent with much wealth and with very much livestock, with silver, gold, bronze, iron, and with much clothing. Divide the spoils of your enemies with your brothers." So the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh returned home, parting Hmm. Yeah, parting from the people of Israel at Shiloh, which is in the land of Canaan, to go to the land of Gilead, their own land, of which they had possessed themselves by command of the Lord through Moses. Now, there's things you should know. First of all, Shiloh was supposed to be the place at that time where they would go to worship and bring their sacrifices, and they would sacrifice their cattle, the birds, or the grain offering, things like that. That was where they would go to the priest for instruction, all that stuff, all those wonderful things that they did in that time. They were not to make temples or places of sacrifices anywhere else. It was always to be at the place the Lord would designate, and that's exactly how it's supposed to occur. And that it's also worth knowing that Israel had some problems in the past, and because of that, what came next, they had some very serious concerns. See, in starting in verse 10, and when the 2.5 tribe uh, went to the region of the Jordan, where the Jordan River is that is in the land of Canaan, uh, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh uh, built there an altar. Uh-oh, red alert! uh, an altar by the Jordan, and this altar was of an imposing size. It was big and very noticeable. It wasn't secret, and the people of Israel heard it said, uh, "Behold." the, Behold, the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh has built an altar at yeah at the frontier of the land of Canaan in the region about about the Jordan on the side that belongs to the people of Israel. Mm. Oh boy, uh-oh. This is why it's a red alert, because they took this very seriously. When the people of Israel heard uh, heard of it, the whole assembly of the people of Israel gathered at Shiloh to make war against them. Yeah, because they thought they had done something abominable, and to build an altar to any other god was an abomination uh, to the people of Israel, to all 12 tribes, that is. Mm. And it was something that was supposed to be unsinkable. And it was shocking. And they had good reason to be fearful because they knew that God, if this was true, God was going to deal with them. And it would be quite severe, and they did not want that to happen. But here's the thing. Yes, they prepared to go to war against them, but they didn't rush off on thieves to say, let's slaughter the infidel! How dare you, the heretic, commit an abominable crime! They didn't do that. Instead, what did they do? Oh, they did the unthinkable. And I'm being sarcastic. Verse 13. Then the people of Israel sent to the people of Reuben and the people of Gad and the half tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, who was the son of Aaron. Phinehas is the high priest, and with him 10 chiefs, one from each of the tribes of the tribal families of the Lord. Every one of them, the head of a family among the clans of Israel. Oh boy. I'm sure when Phinehas showed up, they were like, uh-oh. But here's the thing. Now, this is where one of the, I'm going to read this and point to one of the key things. The tribe of Israel, the 10.5 tribes, had very serious and legitimate concern and fear about what was happening. And the biggest fear was that, oh no, if we don't put a stop to this, God will wipe all of it out because of this. They had legit reason to be afraid. And they also have reason to think that, oh no, did these people back? They don't know. They can't read minds. But they knew, apparently, that they needed to confront the sin that they thought was the case. And more often than not, altars, especially of this type, usually were built for sacrifices and worship, something that was forbidden to them. They weren't supposed to be worshiping any place but at Shiloh. Uh-oh, yeah. And they came to, and they came to the people of Reuben, the people of Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh in the land of Gilead, and they said to them, that says the whole congregation of the Lord. What is this breach of faith that you have committed against God, against the God of Israel, in turning away this day from following the Lord by building yourself an altar this day in rebellion against the Lord. That's what they were thinking. And yeah, on the surface, that's what they thought was going on. They thought, you are rebelling, and you're forcing us to have to go to war with you for this thing. But they didn't stop there. And they said, but here's one of the first lessons is to maybe reason with them and say, hey, this is how we're hearing it. Don't you remember what happened go on and say, hey, have we not had enough of the sin pure from which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves? Not long ago, the Midianites had sent some women to seduce a lot of the men into sexual immorality and 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 tempted them to worship things that they shouldn't. And this was and it caused some very serious problem, a plague to break out amongst them. And it was so grievous, apparently it affected them even now, still, even then, which even yet we have not cleansed ourselves. And for which there came, like I said, there came plague on the congregation of the Lord, that you too must turn away this day following that you too must turn away this day from following the Lord. Like, whoa, what? Guys, do you remember the last time we went through this? It wasn't that long ago. Hmm. And if you too rebel against the Lord, like what happened before today, then tomorrow, the Lord, will be angry with the whole congregation. In other words, they're reminding him that say, hey, guys, what you're doing doesn't just affect you. It affects all of us. It's like reflect on all of us, not just the one group or that one person over there. But now, and here's something else worth knowing. They didn't have to, but they decided they appealed to reason. They didn't go into name calling. They expressed a very legit concern and what they were thinking, but they didn't devolve into it didn't devolve into name calling, accusation, or anything like that. Rather, they were confronting them, saying, hey, this is how we're seeing your action. This is how we're hearing it. We need to get to the bottom of this. Now, and they said, well, hey, maybe there's a problem. But now, if the land of your possession is unclean, pass over into the Lord's land, where the Lord's tabernacle stands, and take for yourself a possession among us. Only do not rebel against the Lord, or the Lord, or make us as or make us as rebels by building for yourself an altar other than the altar of the Lord our God. Remember, they're supposed to be worshiping one God and nobody else. They're not supposed to make idols, nothing. and they remind them of what Action did. He wanted to take something that he wasn't supposed to when they conquered Jericho, and Action, along with his family, died. And by the way, it wasn't just them. Other people died because of his sin. Hmm. Ah. Hmm. Now, all right. Now here's one of the best parts, which we sometimes miss in this. Hmm. Hmm. So then the people of then the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, hmm, said in answer to the head to the leaders of the families of Israel, the mighty one, God, the Lord, the mighty one, God, the Lord. He knows. Yes, the Lord does know their heart. God knows what's actually going on. But here's the thing: they didn't. They're thinking one way. They never saw this coming. They didn't think of it. But thankfully, unlike some people today, they didn't jump the gun. They didn't go, because we are convinced, we're gonna. That's not what they did. They confronted them and told them, hey, what's going on here? Why are you building this thing? And they were done, and they explained, and we reminded of the seriousness of what's going on, why they're reacting. Ooh. Yes, so God knows, but let Israel itself, the people of Israel, know. If it was in rebellion or in breach of faith against the Lord, do not spare us today for building an altar to turn away from following the Lord. Or if we did so, the offer burnt offering or grain offering, may the Lord Himself take vengeance. Yeah, if acknowledging their concern, the fear, and they say, yeah, if it was the case, the Lord will take vengeance. But that's not what's happening, guys. No, we did it from fear that in times to come, your children might say to our children, mhm, what have you to do with the Lord, the God of Israel? For the Lord has made the Jordan a boundary between us and you, and your and us and you. You people of Reuben, people of Gad, you have no portion in the Lord. So your children might make our children cease to worship the Lord. Therefore, we said, mm, mm, yeah, and they wanted to with more to remind future generations that, hey, you have other two and a half tribe brothers and sisters who are on the other side of the river that you've probably forgotten, and they have as much a right and a need to worship the Lord. They didn't want this. It was also a memorial for them in a future time to remember that, hey, you have a portion here too, in the and that's what they were all about. And they resolved it by sitting down and having a conversation and listening. Oh, that's what this is about. Oh, and they realized there was a misunderstanding, and it wasn't done out of malice or anything else like that. Sometimes I think we get so caught up in our zeal and what we believe, we don't bother to listen to what others may be saying, even though they have a different view. Yes, I appreciate my Baptist brothers and the Reform, quote unquote, Calvinists, because they do have a lot of insight. And I've had to learn to help mine understand. Yes, the gift of for today, as far as I'm concerned, because Scripture doesn't speak against it. However, they're right to say the problem is God's sovereignty. Where is that? And they're the ones who are more likely to warn against misuse and abuse. Actually, it's the Holy Spirit that gives. And know exactly what I mean. It doesn't mean I can't have conversation and share insight. And that's why it's important. The stuff I'm talking about isn't. But one thing is certain that's true on both sides. Throwing labels and accusations at other people do not help. It's more like it prevents you from listening and learning. It also requires humility and grace. And yes, God was in their midst, helping them to resolve that problem. And it was an explosive situation. It could have gone anywhere, anyway, but. All right. I hope and trust this is of value. If you like, please hit the like button and consider sharing, and please subscribe. I want to try to come out with quality Bible study videos that is of value to you today. Not a seminar, no, not a pastor, anything, but a layman who enjoys sharing the word and providing some practical idea and that. And yes, for the record, I'm using Logos to show the scripture and help me with my study. All right. I want to thank you for your time. Hope you have a blessed day and see ya when I see ya. Oh, wait.